The tour begins in the modern city of Nazareth, which is much like every other modern city. However, the city of Nazareth has a deep past rooted in biblical history. The first site of the tour is the Church of the Annunciation, where it's believed that the angel Gabriel came down to speak with Mary to announce the virgin conception of Jesus. The current church structure on the site is only the most recent incarnation, as churches dating back all the way to the 4th century have been built here historically and are down below the foundation, all of which are dedicated to the Virgin Mary and the Annunciation of Jesus' birth. As you enter the structure, even the door itself is covered with carvings depicting scenes from Jesus' life. Upon entering, you find yourself in the Grotto of the Annunciation, which is the lower level of the church, and at the bottom there's one key altar, where in Latin it reads, "Here the Word was made flesh," memorializing the Annunciation itself. This site within Nazareth was also believed to be the childhood home of Jesus and of Mary, making it a highly spiritual place for the people of the Christian faith. To this day, services are run on the top level, where priests dedicate services to Mary, and the church is adorned with artwork dedicated to Mary from different countries around the world, each one very unique. Across the plaza is the St. Joseph Church, believed to be the original workshop of Joseph, Jesus' father. And below the actual church itself, you can still see the archaeological ruins of what lay there prior. Leaving Nazareth, it was only a short drive to the Sea of Galilee, where the first stop was at the Church of the Multiplication. This site is where, by Christian tradition, the miracle of the multiplication occurred, where Jesus had fed a following of 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish by multiplying them to feed everyone. Once you pass the courtyard with the olive tree, the door itself depicts this miracle. Inside the church, it is like many others. However, at the main altar, there's a beautiful mosaic floor depicting a symbolic representation of the multiplication miracle. Within the basket of bread on the floor, you only see 4 loaves and 2 fish, because the 5th loaf is used during the actual sermon itself as a symbolic representation of the multiplication continuing today. And nearby the site, you stop for lunch, where you can order a St. Peter fish, fished from the Sea of Galilee, exactly the same that Jesus and Peter would have eaten many years ago. Only a short distance away is Yardenit, the baptism site of Jesus, and the entrance, called the Wall of New Life, depicts a baptism prayer in many languages from around the world. Once through the gates, however, you find yourself in a lush river valley, where the River Jordan flows from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea, over 400 meters below sea level. The baptism site itself was believed to be where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, and is a very holy site for the Christian faith, where pilgrims from around the world will visit to renew their baptism and celebrate their beliefs. As people made their way into the waters of the Jordan, the full range of emotions were seen, as some people were laughing, others crying, and all experiencing something deeply meaningful to themselves. Around the baptism site, you hear the sound of birds mixed with laughter and song from those visiting the site. Besides the people visiting the site, there's also a number of koipus, or nutrias, that live in the area. These aquatic rodents are very similar to beavers or otters. The koipus were introduced to the area quite some time ago, but live in abundance along the river shore now. The waters themselves also have a number of catfish, swimming from the Sea of Galilee downriver to look for nutrient-filled water and sources of food. The koipu and the catfish, however, are both very friendly and will come to you if you bring a little food. We ended up spending quite a bit of time with one little youngster that had quite the appetite. And as mentioned previously, the Sea of Galilee is an abundant source of fish, and there was a small fishing village near Capernaum, which was the home of St. Peter and where Jesus also had lived for a time. And as you enter the village, you see a statue of St. Peter holding the keys to the kingdom of heaven. This site is now home to the Church of St. Peter's House, which is a hanging church where the foundation of St. Peter's original home can be seen below through the glass floor. And although you can see the actual house, you can go outside of the church and look below and see the old house of St. Peter where Jesus had lived up close and firsthand. Next to the church itself is a set of old ruins, some of which from a Roman village, and others are that of an old synagogue, one of the oldest in the world, dating back to prior to the 1st century. It is also believed that at this site Jesus had preached early in his life. The age of the structure itself is widely apparent as you see ruins scattered about, and as the tour concludes, you realize that within a single day you've traveled across an area with a deep past, and through this journey, mystical places mentioned in the Bible became very real, very tangible, and something that you've now experienced firsthand.
On the shoreline, after sunset, watching seabirds soar, feet in the sand, with my head in my hand, this luxury pushing our souls up. Harmony, nature's great sanctuary.